Hello there and welcome to the most watched business show in the country. This is the Business Weekly Show here on City TV and I am your host Michael Obodu. Please hit me up on Twitter at @mobodu. In the next 1 hour, we're bringing you a wrap of all the major business news stories for the week. Stuffs from the aviation industry, increase in fuel prices and the Ghana Revenue Authority. So if you're ready, let's go. Yes, we are back again to the fuel price conversation. The rate of increase and how often it goes up these days is just alarming, and already some transport operators say they are increasing transport fares by up to 30%, and even with that, they claim they are just being magnanimous.
Social media was awash with pictures and commentary of yet another increment in prices of fuel products on Thursday night through to Friday. Consumers of fuel products, especially commercial vehicle drivers, were concerned about having to pay higher prices for the same quantity of product. Whilst other fuel pumps were yet to effect the adjustment of prices for the second pricing window in February, Total, a major brand in the fuel business, had pegged its price at 7 Ghana cedis 99 pesos. Many customers believe the continuous price adjustments will impact negatively on their finances. Some commercial drivers say the current situation has compelled them to park their cars and seek other job opportunities.
I'm a parking boss because we 3 days in the fuel and I'm a tar. Menamusa, Minubia, no fuel nasa. Fuel nisha. And yesterday said this year, no fuel, and there was so many before my and yes, I there. Near and Messia can't credit say I pack is you are in me finally. Messiano.
Sometimes, how to even wake up and come to work is sometimes difficult. If not, we are catering for our family. Like you just, some of us too are even looking for another job to do.
Interestingly, fuel pumps with lower prices are cashing in, and this station at Dakuman is one of such places.
When they are passing, they do watch the board. So when they see that like your price is down, we just go and tell their friend, oh Charlie, this place is down, then you'll be seeing a lot of cars coming here. The trickling effect of the fuel price hikes is exerted on drivers, especially commercial ones, and in the long run, onto passengers. It is against this backdrop the Concerned Drivers Association, a driver union, wants to increase transport fares by 30% beginning Friday, February 18.
You have to pay from 26 cedis to 36 cedis, 10 cedi difference. Can we keep it? Are we not Ghanaians or we are slaves? We've increased it to 30%. And if they don't know how to calculate the 30%, let me show them how we used to calculate it. It's 130 divided by 100, multiplied by the old fare, you get the new fare. Start paying it by tomorrow. We intended to take it by 12 o'clock, but it won't be fair on the passenger side.
But the Ghana Private Transport Union, GPRTU, a major stakeholder in the transport business, has an opposing view. Despite the frequent fuel price hikes, the oil marketing companies think the situation could have been dire.
The prices that you see around are not the maximum prices for us to get our margin. And the issue is you need to have a balance of how you price in such a way that you can pay your taxes, your levies, you can take care of your short-term obligations. Then make sure that you also attract consumers without sacrificing quality.
However, passengers are not enthused about the expected increment.
The fare is going up. Every time it's going up. So it's affecting us too much because if I come and I buy my things, some of the things that I buy, I can't put it inside the boot. I have to buy a seat for it.
It's not going to help us at all, especially because I don't know what to do. I have not increased what I'm selling now. So if they increase the transport, it's going to affect me. It's going to affect my daily activities a lot.
Meanwhile, The Ghana Private Road Transport Union (GPRTU) has dissociated itself from the 30% increment in transport fares by the Ghana Committed Drivers Association. According to the GPRTU, it is yet to conclude negotiations with the government on Monday, February 21, 2022, after which it will officially announce its new fares.
From the first day meeting, Minister said that they were just seeing it for that same day we had come, and that they needed some time to look at it. So we agreed, and the time was somewhere last week when the discussion was that the margin that we want to increase our fares was too high, and that we needed to waive off some of the areas we are talking about. And then the minister said actually that looking at the current economic situation in Ghana, the situation is too hard, said that if we want to meet fully the actual increment rate that we are having, we are going to push more burden onto the traveling public. So they were suggesting 10%, and we said no. And then we have agreed to reconvene coming Monday, 21st. So there hasn't been anywhere that agreed or concluded that fares should be affected when we had already begun the negotiation. So committed drivers, our two drivers, whoever they are, have given out their press release and then indicating that they are going to increase by today or by tomorrow. That is their decision. We, as GPRTU, or maybe the rest of the coalition, are not part to that decision.
No more ACN. Fuel prices will teach you things. It's really unsettling to know that fuel prices have gone up by more than 1 cedi 50 pesos this year alone. I can only imagine what the rate would be by June this year. But if you've been following closely, you would not find these increments surprising, because the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana (COPEC) spoke about them days before they happened. The price of fuel has increased by about 1 Ghana cedi since the start of the year, and already conversations about an increase in transport fares are rife. The recent removal of the Price Stabilization and Recovery Levy by the National Petroleum Authority did not help issues either. The move the NPA justified was to enable it continue delivering on the mandate of the levy. The temporary removal gave consumers respites of 16 pesos per litre on petrol, 14 pesos per litre on diesel, and 14 pesos per kilogram on LPG. But while consumers are still trying to get used to the price increase, news is making rounds of another increment, which has an impact of about double that of the reintroduction of the Price Stabilization and Recovery Levy. Duncan Amoah is the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana (COPEC).
Bearing any last-minute glitches or decisions by the oil marketing companies to absorb the difference that these international market prices will throw at us, what we should expect naturally is an increase by between 20-30 pesos per litre. What we have also at the pumps currently is what you will call suppressed prices. If you do the numbers properly per the latest figures we put out, you would realize that most should have been selling around the 7.5, 7.6, but you find a lot of them around 7.45, 7.4. That means that they are eating into their own margins. How long they can continue to sustain that, we do not know. But realistically, for the second window February, you are expecting fuel prices to cross 70 pesos.
Where does all of this leave consumers?
You talk of the Ghanaian consumer at this point, and it's not a happy place to be. What we have cautioned the government over and over again is the need to stabilize fuel prices, or better still, find a mechanism of reducing same. Government itself is being overburdened by these fuel price increases, but because the funds are not their personal funds, they seem not to realize. You are the biggest consumer within the country. Talk of the ministries, departments, agencies. Talk of government establishments, office of government machinery. The number of vehicles, V8, that would need to be fueled. If you put them together, and you put the rising cost of fuel together, it doesn't get surprising that the Office of Government Machinery expenditure is rising per the year.
Let's now move to the aviation industry. Have you thought about the impact it will have on the economy if Ghana became the aviation hub in the sub-region? Well, the government is bent on achieving this, and the sector minister is urging the newly sworn-in board of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority to work hard at attaining this vision.
The government has, in line with the vision to make Ghana an aviation hub, undertaken some projects in the sector, including the recent inauguration of the Ho Airport. In line with this objective, the sector minister believes enhancing safety in the aviation sector is key. While delivering a speech on behalf of the minister, a deputy minister for transport, Hassan Tampoli, called on the board to build a new air traffic control tower as soon as possible, since he believed this would significantly improve the situation.
You must also recognize that for Ghana to become the aviation hub, there must be conscious effort and some amount of investment to improve the safety and security of the sector. Investment must be made in state-of-the-art equipment for communication and surveillance to enhance better coordination and improvement of the airspace safety. I therefore wish to encourage you to work very closely with management to see to the construction of a new air traffic control tower as a matter of urgency. I am informed that the non-execution of this project could potentially impact on the safety and security of Ghana's airspace. I must acknowledge that a lot has been done already, and we should continuously strive to lead in safety and security within the West Africa sub-region. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, during the ICAO audit of the sector in 2018, you recall that Ghana was adjudged the best in Africa in safety and security of its airspace with a score of 89.89%. In this regard, it is our collective duty to ensure that this standard is not only maintained but also improved upon.
The newly sworn-in board chair of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority stated that his outfit would work to build cohesion among staff of the entity.
The board will seek to establish spirit decor among staff and management of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority for smooth management of affairs. As a board, we shall ensure that a conducive environment is established to leverage the years of experience of our esteemed members. Together with the GCA management and staff, we will create that single synergy to ensure that we continue to achieve progressively positive results.
Still on the aviation sector, and the Ghana Airport Company Limited has a new boss. The workers had some concerns about their former managing director and had called for his removal on several occasions. Their leadership has welcomed the government's swift appointment of Pamela Jamson-Tete as the company's new managing director, and they have been sharing their major expectations.
The Ghana Airport Company Limited, in a press release, said Pamela Jamson-Tete has over 25 years of proven track record in senior management, including 9 years in the mining industry, 9 years in the manufacturing sector, and 5 years in the power sector. Madame Jamson-Tete is described as well-networked, with a confident approach and integrity, strategically astute, possesses a strong ability to build sustainable relationships with excellent interpersonal communication and language skills. From 2001 to 2009, Pamela was the Executive Director and Director of Corporate Relations at Diageo Ghana, Guinness Ghana Brewers Limited. Speaking to City Business News on the appointment, the Deputy General Secretary of the Public Services Workers Union of the Trade Union Congress, Mr. John Sampa, stated that, among other things, the workers would like the new MD to prioritize the interest of the company above any parochial interests.
The airports and the aviation sector are internationally regulated, and therefore they are international standard to follow. When you come and you are considered to be somebody who only came to execute a certain parochial interest, the international community will lose interest in the company. We may be downgraded and then many airlines will actually divert to different destinations. So we should know that we are in competition. And so far, so good, we are on top. And we believe that if we follow the roadmap and making sure that our image is not touched by any means, we will be able to be the aviation hub of the sub-region.
Mr. Sampa also added that Madame Jamson Teti should ensure that, unlike her predecessor, she desist from taking steps to privatize the company.
The workers had issue with the old administration, Yakwakwa, because the workers had something to believe that he was in talks with some Turkish company to privatize the Ghana Airport Company. Now, when we asked, he said it was not true. But later on, he said that the people brought unsolicited proposal. And when you look at the percentages and the stake of government or Ghana government in the company, it was a minority shareholding. And we thought that it was a no-no. So we are saying that a new managing director must shun away from privatization, manage the company well, and raise money. The company can be profitable if they actually cut down certain costs and make sure that all the loopholes are blocked. The company, the workers can work, and we can bring money. But we don't think that privatization must be one of the ideas on her mind. Then we came to some of the contract that he has also awarded. And we were of the view that he was mismanaging the company so that it would justify the privatization. Now, we are looking, therefore, for somebody who will review all these outsourced contracts. That a committee was served. I was privileged to serve on that committee, where we strongly have something to believe, or even the report has something in it that's something to believe that certain procedures, internal procedures, were not properly followed. And that if we followed that thing, we could have saved the company some money.
It's been a while since we talked about the benchmark values policy, right? Well, there's an update. A Deputy Minister for Finance, Mrs. Abena Osei-Asare, has hinted of a pending announcement of a roadmap for a gradual reversal of the benchmark value reduction policy. This would at least pacify both sides of the divide, right?
The government of Ghana, as part of efforts to curb smuggling and boost revenue mobilization at Ghana ports, introduced the benchmark value reduction policy in 2019. In effect, importers now pay duties on 50% benchmark value of general goods imported and 70% of values of cars. This policy, however, did not sit well with local manufacturers who complained that the policy rendered locally manufactured goods uncompetitive on the local market. After several forms of agitation and advocacy by groups like the Association of Ghana Industries and the Association of Palm Oil Producers, the government announced the reversal of the benchmark value reduction policy in the 2022 budget, but that was met with stiff resistance from the trading community. Alas, a directive from the presidency suspended the reversal of the benchmark value reduction policy sine die. But speaking to City Business News on the sidelines of the 2022 managers' retreat of the Ghana Revenue Authority in Ho, Deputy Finance Minister Madame Abena Osei-Asare said the government is doing all it can to help the GRA meet its target of raising 80.3 billion Ghana cedis this year, and as part of the said efforts, the government has made some concessions and will reintroduce a directive for the withdrawal of the benchmark value reduction policy in phases.
So we will give GRA all the support that they need to enable them tidy all these loose ends and also raise the revenue that is needed. We mentioned the fact that we are still waiting for the passage of the e-levy. We believe that it will go through the process. And once it goes through the process and Parliament approves, GRA already is ready to implement the processes that will help raise the revenue out of the e-levy. And so we are looking forward to Parliament passing the e-levy shortly. We also mentioned that very soon, the Minister of Finance will be announcing the reversal of the benchmark values. But this has been, we have had to give in to some of the demands of our traders and importers. And so this is a consensus that we have arrived at, that the minister will announce very soon the gradual reversal of the benchmark value. And I know that it will also help raise revenue and to help support achieve the targets that we have set for ourselves for 2022. Okay.
Now to the Ghana Revenue Authority, and it has announced plans to begin taxing electronic commerce and online businesses beginning from April 1, 2022. This will mean the likes of Netflix and other multinational online businesses that accrue revenue from Ghana will be compelled to comply with Ghana's ECommerce Tax. A sharp move, right? Could this be a possible substitute for the e-levy? Just saying.
In a frantic effort to achieve an ambitious 80.3 billion Ghana cedis tax revenue target for the year 2022 and also attain a tax to GDP ratio of up to 16.5%, the government has initiated moves to widen the tax net and broaden the tax scope. Aside from the introduction of an electronic transfers levy, which has been withdrawn from Parliament temporarily, the government has also initiated moves to tax businesses operating via the internet. The Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Reverend Amisha Dai-Owusu Amwa, has disclosed that the GRA has completed design works on a software that will monitor and tax online businesses in a bid to transform the country's tax revenue mobilization strategies to reflect the changing trends of business. He noted that the same software shall monitor and tax online gaming and betting activities. The GRA boss made the announcement at the authority's 2022 management retreat being held at the Volta Serene Hotel in Ho.
Here people say that do e-commerce instead of e-levy. Do this one instead of that. The question I ask myself, why the instead of? I don't expect them to say in addition to. Because even if we get to the 16.5% of GDP, we are still not at our highest possible yet. And if we are able to do the other things, we'd rather be able to lessen maybe the burden of some other people who today maybe are taking a lot of burden. And we are not ignorant of those opportunities. So I must say that the e-commerce tax is being worked on. And actually, as at last week, I sat in a presentation of the software and how it will work and a demonstration of it. And we are confident that by 1st April, the taxation of e-commerce will begin.
Reverend Amisha Dai-Owusu further clarified that the e-commerce tax will be targeted at online service providers, both local and foreign. He expressed confidence that a collaboration with the National Communications Authority will ensure the successful implementation of the e-commerce tax.
The pilot will be, so the same platform will be used for e-commerce, it will be used for gaming and betting, and shall also be used for the VAT or VAT. And then it will ensure that all these players are taking part. And from 1st April, we'll start the pilot test with a number of identified players in this area, and then by June we'll go complete the whole country. So that is the target for the e-commerce, the gaming, and then the electronic VAT invoicing.
Are you guided by the powers of some of these multinationals you seek to tax, and whether they will be willing to comply with the directives from you?
There are a lot of ways of handling it. For example, before you operate in Ghana, you know there's a gateway that comes to the country, and then the National Communications Authority has a way of handling it. And therefore, if you have not registered with us, and we block you from being able to originate a transaction from Ghana, it's up to you as the international, global multinational to decide whether you want transactions to emanate from Ghana or not. So it's up to them to decide whether they want to operate from here. But once you operate from here, you have to pay. And we have a method of making sure that you will pay.
So you're not at all tax online businesses, local online businesses?
Oh, they're also included. I mean, that's what I said, e-commerce. So whether you are Alibaba, whether you are Tonatong, or whether you are, I'm just citing examples, whether you are in Ghana or outside, the same thing applies to the betting. The bet 364, whatever, bet 380, whatever they are, they all have to make sure that they are registered with us. If you are not registered with us, there's a way of we blocking you from being able to emanate your transactions from Ghana, and we'll tax you.
This move by the Ghana Revenue Authority obviously has its up and down sides. We have spoken to various stakeholders, and this is what they had to say.
According to the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Reverend Amishadai Owusu-Amoah, the GRA has completed design works on a software that will monitor and tax online businesses in a bid to transform the country's tax revenue mobilization strategies to reflect the changing trends of business. Speaking in an earlier interview with City Business News, he further clarified that the e-commerce tax will be targeted at online service providers, both local and foreign.
Before you operate in Ghana, you know there's a gateway that comes to the country, and then the National Communication Authority has a way of handling it. And therefore, if you have not registered with us, and we block you from being able to originate a transaction from Ghana, it's up to you as the international global multinational to decide whether you want transactions to emanate from Ghana or not. So it's up to them to decide whether they want to operate from here. But once you operate from here, you have to pay. And we have a method of making sure that you pay.
Tax analyst Francis Timorboy, in support of the new development, believes this move can only be effective if the Revenue Mobilization Authority does due diligence in monitoring the works of these online companies.
It's been there. If you are providing electronic transactions, and even if you're a foreigner, you are supposed to register and pay the VAT. So it's not a new tax. The challenge, like I said, was what mechanisms and tools to put in place, because it was easy for evasion or avoidance. Imagine Facebook is located somewhere, yet you can do advertisement via Facebook. All you do is to pay with your credit or debit card. We don't get access to the people and invite them to come and pay the relevant taxes. So the GRA has put in place the relevant measures, and they're saying that they're going to invite, in fact, they've even reached out to companies like Netflix and all those to register. So I believe that is a huge potential. Possibly we can start with the indirect taxes. After we are done with the indirect tax, then we move to the next level and begin discussions on how do we tax their income that these companies who are located outside have earned from Ghana.
On his part, Maximus Ametogo, a digital marketing strategist and managing director of digital advertising company Pop-Out, believes government and businesses must focus on boosting the sale of locally produced items on these online platforms so the country can benefit from electronic commerce.
I think the last time the e-commerce, the report that I checked, we were running almost 1.3 billion in terms of spending on e-commerce as a category on the internet. And I just read that in April, GRA is going to tax e-commerce. Internet is driving e-commerce, and it's exciting that we are selling online. And I think the policymakers should start thinking, if we said Nigerians shouldn't sell in Makola or in Circle, they come to Ghana, they create a website, they can still sell the same product. So should we make it open so that we can get more people? And then how do we also make sure that we produce a lot of products within Ghana? Because industrialization is going to drive e-commerce. If we don't industrialize, we end up selling Chinese products online. And the e-commerce will grow in Ghana selling foreign products.
Meanwhile, digital marketer Nasei Bwidi believes it is important that the benefits players in the space stand to derive is clearly spelled out to ensure compliance. He argues that this would help prevent similar resistance as the e-levy is currently experiencing.
It's more of a revenue generation, attempt. So he said that they have put in place systems to start taxing the gaming, companies, the betting companies and e-commerce companies. Okay. There's so much unclear, there's so much unknown out there. I can raise a couple of questions. We're not quite ready yet. And there are a couple of things that I would want to see. First, they need to engage the players. Let them understand that, yes, we want to tax you, but these are also benefits that we're bringing. Number two, how are they going to police the system? Because there's a lot of informal operation in this sector.
Still on the Ghana Revenue Authority, the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana has raised concerns over a possible 12% increase in the prices of some commodities should it go ahead to implement the amended value-added tax VAT rate. According to the Importers and Exporters Association, the amendment of the VAT will see the business community move from paying a 3% flat rate plus 1% COVID-19 levy to paying VAT of about 20%. The GRA has been responding to these concerns.
Following the intention of the Ghana Revenue Authority to implement the amended value-added tax,
The Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana warned that consumers may have to pay an increase of about 8 to 12% for some commodities. According to the association, the amendment, which was gazetted on December 31st, 2021, will see the business community move from paying a 3% flat rate plus 1% COVID-19 levy to paying VAT of about 20%. They further lamented the lack of stakeholder consultation from the GRA with them with regards to this new amendment. However, in a latest interview with City Business News, General Secretary of the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana, Samson Asaki Awungubit, said the Ghana Revenue Authority has reached out to them for stakeholder consultation on how best to implement the VAT.
We strongly believe that with this current flat rate amendment that has a cost element between 8 to 12% was not well thought. And if care is not taken, already price of goods is gone high, already inflation rate is going up. Already, we just this morning, we were reading that fuel price will go up by 30% or so, and transportation will be increased by 30% or so. So all this become a cost element. And so I strongly believe the government will have to, government should not hesitate. It should not be in a haste to be implementing everything just like that. But already the public out there are all crying. Everybody's crying. And so we have called that if for anything at all, the GRS should suspend that program. This guideline, the issue, they should withdraw it. And let us all come to the round table and sit and discuss the issue, the merit and the demerit about it. They saw the needful and they said they were going to call up for a discussion. And so we look forward for them to call it.
City TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access City TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV on your television. City TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and Star Times box. City TV, it's your world.
The board chairman of the Mineral Income and Investment Fund, Professor Douglas Boateng, says Ghana's position as the largest gold producer is worthless without visible development. Professor Boateng said this while speaking on industrialization and supply chain management at the University of Mines and Technology in Takwa, and I can't help but agree with him.
The Maiden UMAT MAVE organized Distinguished Speaker Series under the auspices of UMAT Faculty of Engineering, delivered by Professor Douglas Boateng, was on the theme Supply Chain Management, Africa's Industrialization, Long-Term Socio-Economic Development and Stability. Professor Boateng said it is unacceptable that there is not much evidence in terms of development of Ghana's rich natural resources. He blamed it on the country's lack of understanding and commitment to appropriate supply chain management and procurement, high taste for foreign goods, as well as the need to industrialize.
Economic growth and economic development, please be aware, are two different things. You can have fantastic economic growth numbers, 5, 20, 30%, but not necessarily achieve economic development. And this is what has happened to our beloved continent. They keep on telling us that we are achieving fantastic growth. Based on what? Exportation of our commodities. And then 50 years down the line, what have we got to show for? The roads in Takwa. And we have to find a way of doing better than that. And that is where supply chain management comes in.
The Vice Chancellor of UMAT, re-emphasizing the state of Ghana's underdevelopment, said the country can achieve accelerated development by value addition through industrialization with collaboration with higher educational institutions.
If the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda is to come to pass, it will ride on the back of industrialization. And we as a university would want to push an agenda in that direction. Without question, industrialization and local value addition is the way forward for Ghana. And we at UMAT intend to build the world-class human capital that will make this possible and to support this agenda of Ghana Beyond Aid.
The Chief Executive of MEF, Edward Nanaya Granting, while stating MEF's intention to become the largest mineral investment fund in Africa and also ensure investment in small-scale mining, emphasized the need for sectoral collaboration and human resource development.
It's part of our corporate social investment. It's part of industry engaging academia in finding solutions and adding value to the sector. So, UMAT is arguably one of the best mines universities on the continent, and I know that it's actually the best in West Africa. And a lot of things are going to go into what MIP is doing, research, and technical opinions, etc. And it's important that we engage with UMAT on this. So we see it as a strategic partnership, and it's all about value. MIP is all about adding value, sustainable value. I think it's a strategic partnership in line with the concept of academia and industry working together.
Now to Val's Day. And how did you celebrate yours? Did you get your special someone any gifts that made their heart melt? Have you thought about the fact that even though Val's Day is a season for showing love to that special someone, businesses actually cash in to make major sales?
Asari Sarkodie has come here at Edum to purchase flowers for his wife. According to him, although he doesn't celebrate Valentine's Day, his wife does, and as such, he is getting her a gift to express his love for her.
Today is on the 14th of February, Val's Day. But actually, I don't celebrate. Yeah, it's my wife. Yeah, so today I came here to buy this one for her. My wife, celebrates Christmas and then Val's Day, and I don't do. But for her to be happy, I have to buy her something. So I came to town to buy a flower for her.
For many people who have visited various areas to purchase gift items, they believe the day is worth celebrating. Hence, there is the need to patronize gifts for their loved ones to remind them of their love for them.
It's a time of loving each other. I bought this thing for my fourth daughter. She requested it anyway. So I did it for her just to show a kind of love. Some of them say, "Ma, we don't want teddy bear, we want chocolates." So I have chocolates in my car to give it out to them.
Birthday, I do for that. And to do one ma, you talk, I did it here. My penny for bear chocolate day. Now there to be a chocolate edition. And to my bass and barber talk hamper. Post office. Now the quack watch my wife.
I dear me to you, me trauma me remember. Because Mbasa Momu say me do womu. No one swing the end first day I may am more. I am a tobima or muma or munichi. Until this day, Mbasa me am munichi.
Favor Dorothy tells City Business News she has been in the sale of Valentine's Day gifts for 8 years. According to her, 14th February is a day when she usually experiences bumper sales as many people patronize gift products.
Every 14th February we used to sell the hampers, things concerning Val's Day. We have hampers, teddy bears, body splash, chocolate. And this year we just started. Most of the time the business ran fast during the evening. So we just started. People are just buying gradually. We are hoping for the best. The business is cool. For Val's Days, I can assure you, for the morning, the marketing is not faster, it's slow. But let's say from 2 p.m. getting to 5, where the government workers have closed and they are going home, that is when they buy the items. They never disappoint us. The marketing starts from 3 p.m. downwards. Most of the time, we leave here around 7 p.m. Yeah.
Some persons who are into the sale of other products but venture into the sale of hampers and Valentine's Day gifts say they cash in heavily on these products and as such ensure they stock up on 14th February in order to make good sales.
Chocolate no kwa eno de tan bia me ton kopem say ya ne be so amede sa ne ma we e be ka ho
ene lovers day inti dia ma me decide say me ton we aka medjuma no chere say ene lovers day no me hu ni say e wo so obia to ade kakra de e che no dofo obi on ontimi nko chrome stray say o kwa akoto chocolate no but e be o si ase no kwa adwuma ebi na adwuma ben he ya obetimi ayeden atobi na ode akwa akoma de open asem inti na me decide say me say me ton e ka me you know so far we say afi na ya starting see normal.
Val's Day doubles as Chocolate Day in Ghana, and interestingly, farmers in the Bekwai Cocoa District of the Western North region are calling on the government to ensure a reduction in the prices of cocoa products. This, according to them, will not only help to patronize the products, but will also benefit on the nutritional side of things. The story is quite sad in an awkward way.
The celebration of Chocolate Day in Ghana was instituted in 2005 by the Ghana Tourism Authority to coincide with Valentine's Day. This was intended to promote patronage of Ghanaian-made cocoa products. This year's celebration was super exciting as a good number of schools were selected by Cocoa Board across the Bibiani, Sefibuakon and Sefibekwai cocoa districts of the region for the distribution of cocoa products to the school children and their teachers. Addressing the media, the continuing of Sefi Chekrum, Nana Kwame Bewa appealed to government to act to ensure a reduction in the prices of cocoa products to make them affordable to ordinary farmers.
Nti wodi esi na so se obe afi bia obe bo nkola no na se odi sa de afi e de kokoo da no ye se wonte sa anom de no wonte ne bo so na kuafo so yentimi to bi na ye di yenso nya ho apomodene.
At Sefi Aboboya, the Janto Ahene of the community, Nana Kofi Amadou appealed for a reduction in the prices of cocoa products and added that if possible, government sets up a cocoa processing factory in the area since it is the highest producer of cocoa in the country.
Yes, Ghana bang, say Western of Hano. You be also say you also region. Bang Mahena OCB and Famaye, Western of. Na yentimi yekuano, Makukono, and Koso. Na yenkodano so ayeti to amuno no omonya hodin. Na adwumano atimi akoso aboaye.
A sensitization seminar was held at each of the communities visited, such as Bekwai, Chekrum, Aboboya, Bosomoenso, among others, on the health benefits of cocoa products to encourage their patronage.
One of our main aims is to increase the coverage. You know, we want a lot of people to consume cocoa and other products that comes with cocoa. Hence, we have to tackle passengers from the stations and other people. You know, we are all Ghanaians and we are basically cocoa farmers. Hence, the need to give them some of these cocoa products and to even teach them about the health implication of these cocoa products.
Meanwhile, some of the students are very happy about the gesture and want government to include chocolate drinks in the school feeding program.
Still on cocoa, a civil society organization in the sector, EcoCare Ghana, is asking chocolate companies, cocoa traders and the government to collaborate to establish a joint deforestation monitoring mechanism to check forest encroachment and illegal cocoa farming.
According to the data analysis by Mighty Earth, named Sweet Nothings, how the chocolate industry has failed to honor promises to end deforestation in cocoa supply chains, overall levels of deforestation remain near record highs 4.5 years after chocolate companies and governments committed in the Cocoa and Forest Initiative to a ban on establishing any new cocoa farms. Within cocoa growing areas, Côte d'Ivoire has lost 19,421 hectares of its forest cover, while Ghana has lost an astonishing 39,497 hectares of forest cover with a high rate of deforestation of 3.9%. Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana are estimated to have lost 80 to 90% of their forested area over the last few decades, in a large part to make way for cocoa farms, according to the report. Rights-based campaign and advocacy organization EcoCare Ghana is hence calling for this disturbing situation to be checked immediately. Obed Owusu Adai, the managing campaigner at EcoCare Ghana, speaking to the media, suggested that a deforestation monitoring mechanism will help check land encroachment and illegal farming.
It's about time that we forgot about especially the private sector, chocolate industry, forgot about their parochial interest and look at the greater interest of Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire and begin to work with governments to establish a credible forest monitoring system with the data that they have and the data that Cocoa Board and Forest Commission is also collating, put them together and we can identify where illegal farms encroachments are and we work towards resolving that problem. If we don't do that, the recommendation from this report is that all this talk of sustainability and especially today is Chocolate Day and Valentines Day, probably the next 10 years, Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire might not be producing the cocoa at that quantum, and I'm sure you might have read China has begun or has come into the space and they are also producing a lot of cocoa, and our lands will not be sustainable enough to sustain cocoa production.
To the housing sector, and the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association is making some proposals that it believes can help in addressing the country's current housing deficit. They are calling on the government to grant its members tax rebates to enable them build enough affordable housing units in the country. Their call is in line with a charge from President Akufo-Addo for Greda to develop a proposal to build 20,000 housing units a year to help deal with the growing housing deficit.
Data available shows that the current housing deficit in Ghana runs into about 2 million housing units. As part of efforts to accelerate the reduction of the deficit, President Akufo-Addo, in a meeting with the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association Greda at the Flagstaff House in 2019, called on the association to target building 20,000 housing units per annum rather than the 5,000 affordable housing units Greda proposed to build at the said meeting. President Akufo-Addo noted that his government will not hesitate to grant tax waivers for companies interested in delivering truly affordable housing to Ghanaians at the said meeting. He mentioned import duties as one area that government will be willing to review in favor of developers in the event they show that they are providing affordable housing to Ghanaians. It's been almost 3 years down the line and the housing units are yet to be built. In an interview with City Business News on the project, President of the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association, Patrick Ebobonfu, noted that they are working with the relevant government agencies to ensure the construction of the housing units becomes a reality.
The affordable housing agenda has been on our heart, and as we have always championed, the 20,000 housing units target that we set for ourselves, we're working on the details, and we, very soon we should be able to announce to the whole of this country what we have been able to do. We are currently working with governments. We are asking for some tax rebates, the same tax rebates that are granted foreign companies when they come here to build affordable houses. Specifically, yes, the tax rebates on corporate tax and waivers on import duties on building materials and things like that. These are tax breaks that are granted to all foreign companies by the Parliament of this country and the Ministry of Finance, and so we are working with them. And letters have traveled far, and hopefully soon they'll come around and we will be able to conclude and then proceed with the action stage of our project. What timelines are we looking at? To be honest with you, because it's it lies in their bosom, it will be difficult for me to say. But we are looking at something happening like that concluded before the end of the year.
About 7 state-owned institutions have been shortlisted for a possible listing on the Ghana Stock Exchange this year. This forms part of the government's efforts to turn around the fortunes of state-owned enterprises. It is also to make state entities profitable and capable of contributing significantly to the development of the country.
Currently, there are 183 specified entities on government books, consisting of 51 state-owned enterprises, 43 joint venture companies, and 89 other state entities. Data from the 2020 State Ownership Report indicates that the performance of specified entities has largely trended downwards. State-owned enterprises consistently posted aggregate net losses of 2.16 billion Ghana cedis in 2015 to 5.34 billion Ghana cedis in 2020, representing a compounded annual growth rate of 16.32%. As part of efforts to check the abysmal performance of some government agencies, the State Interest and Governance Authority (SIGA) set up a technical and steering committee in February last year with representatives from the Ghana Stock Exchange, the Ministry of Finance, and the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) to review the performance of the state entities. Currently, about 7 state-owned institutions have been shortlisted for possible listing by the Ghana Stock Exchange this year. Speaking during a media briefing in Accra, Deputy Managing Director of the Ghana Stock Exchange, Abena Amwa, noted that the move forms part of efforts to make state entities profitable and capable of contributing significantly to the development of the country.
The GSE and SIGA have formed 2 committees, a steering committee and a technical committee. And throughout the second half of 2010 and all of last year, we worked to review about 30 companies. Out of that, we came out with a first short list of about 18 companies. And we've narrowed down to the first 7 companies that we believe are market ready. Many of these companies, Government of Ghana owns 100% in them. There are some of them in the larger group that are JV with other private sectors. So we have done a paper, presented it to the Ministry of Finance. It will go for the shareholder, which is Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Finance and the Minister of Public Enterprises, to approve this first 7 so that they can decide and accept and then put them on the market. Again, we are working with our brokers to ensure this happens.
Managing Director of the Ghana Stock Exchange, Eko Afeji, revealed that the local bourse will soon conclude processes for the establishment of an investor credit rating agency for players on the market.
We also have in Ghana in order to make the bond market more credible. And one of them is to have credit rating agencies. It is important because when it comes to corporate bonds, the investor will got to know about the rating of that company before taking a decision. In other words, whatever the credit rating agency will say can guide the investor in the investments that you make in that corporate bond. So for the exchange, we are just looking at the corporate bonds and how we can have credit rating agencies in Ghana to assist in developing that market. So Securities and Exchange Commission have come out with guidelines for licensing credit rating agencies. I understand one of them have been licensed also. There's another one that is in the pipeline which is being developed by a group of institutions. So that is what is happening. Hopefully, by the end of this year, maybe we'll have a domestic credit rating agency.
Finally, let's talk about plans towards ending youth unemployment. About 140 residents have undergone basic business management and entrepreneurship skills development at the Kumasi Technical University. The initiative is being spearheaded by the Member of Parliament for Ekimakwama in the Ashanti region and is aimed at creating sustainable incomes for unemployed youth in the area.
Data from Ghana's latest census carried out by the Ghana Statistical Service indicates that the country's unemployment rate has almost tripled in a little more than a decade. More than 1.55 million people, or 13.4% of Ghana's economically active population are out of work, according to the 2021 Population and Housing Census. In an attempt to help reduce the number of unemployed individuals in the country, different stakeholders are embarking on different programs. The initiative by the Member of Parliament for Achuma in the Ashanti region christened Camp Lip, which means the Kofi Amankwa Menu Livelihood Empowerment Project, is an intervention to help youth in the Achuma district gain employment. The project coordinator shares some more details about the initiative.
It's all about bringing sustainable source of income to the people of Achuma. Unemployment is a major problem in Ghana, and what do we seek to achieve with this intervention? We seek to empower the youth who do not have the opportunity of going through tertiary education and having skills.
Member of Parliament for Achuma Kofi Amankwa Menu engaged the Kumasi Technical University to train youth from different communities in the area to help them acquire relevant skills.
We think that investment in the human resource is key. They should stop, MMDCs and MPs should stop giving tips, 100 Ghana cedi, 200 Ghana cedi, blah, 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 and invest in their people by way of bringing them to our university to be trained in all the about 20 trade areas that we have here in Ghana.
Under the initiative, beneficiaries are supported with equipment to establish themselves after acquiring the needed skills. Mr. Amankwa Menu says the initiative will be expanded to cover many youths in the area going forward.
First of all, let me say it was a dream to really provide or help provide training, skill training, of course, to the many teeming youth in Achuma. It's not going to be only sewing or fashion. We're also thinking of how to go into masonry, go into those who are interested in mechanics, tiling, and all that. We have all these things lined up, but we want to do it one thing at a time.
Some beneficiaries spoke to City Business News. Youth unemployment continues to be a problem in Ghana, and the Achuma district is no exception.
Well, this is all time will allow us for this edition of the Business Weekly Show here on City TV. For more details on the stories we've brought you, check out our website, citybusinessnews.com. And you don't want to miss out on the Business Dashboard, which airs every weekday at 10 p.m. and repeats the following day at 7 and 10:30 a.m. My name is Michael Obodu. Please hit me up on Twitter at @mobodu. Catch you same time next week. Stay safe, stay informed. Bye-bye.